Hi, 6th grade. I hope you're having fun in the snow. I know some of you have been having a little bit of trouble with the grammar assignment, and that's to be expected with these adjectives. But I want to go over page 206. So if you will look at 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, I gave you the diagram skeletons for 1 through 7, so those shouldn't be too difficult because you know where to plug those in. But I want to go over a few of these on 206 to make sure you're on the right track. Number 8, the girl in the blue dress is my cousin and best friend. You should have found the subject to be girl, and the verb should be is. What kind of verb is that? A linking verb. So we're either looking for a predicate adjective or a predicate nominative. And cousin and best friend, or cousin friend, are nouns, so they should be your predicate nominatives coming after is. What about the adjective phrase describing a noun or pronoun? Well, in the blue dress is your prepositional phrase, but it acts like an adjective in the blue dress. Who is in the blue dress? The girl, so you can draw an arrow back to girl. Hopefully you'll be able to diagram that now that you know the parts of speech and shouldn't have too much trouble finding the parts of speech. I don't want to give all the answers away, but if you'll look at number 10, I know Jonah was having trouble with number 10. Number 10 has an I-O and a D-O. Be careful. Miss Searway did not read us. There's nothing on us that she read. She read book to us. So hopefully that will help you. Remember, an I-O is diagrammed under the verb, but a D-O comes at the end of the sentence. And any of these adjective phrases have to come under the noun they're describing, cannot come underneath a verb, because an adjective always describes a noun or a pronoun. Okay, now if you'll flip with me, I'm trusting that you'll be able to finish 206 with that little bit of help. Go ahead and flip to 207, comparing adjectives. I want to go ahead and teach you this because it's pretty simple. You'll see the guy, Bruno, is strong, but you'll see Magilla is stronger than Bruno, and Igor is the strongest weightlifter of all time. If you've ever watched the Strongest Man competition on television, Mr. Oliver loves to watch that, you'll recognize these comparing adjectives. The main thing you want to know when you're doing comparing adjectives is that if you add an ER on the end of an adjective, you should be comparing two things. If you add an EST, you're comparing 3 or more things. So if I am comparing myself to the whole 6th grade, I would say I am the oldest in the whole class. Not lovely, but true. Okay? If I'm not sure who our youngest is, might be Noah. I think Noah's just a little bit younger than Jonah. Zoe, all of y'all are right there together. Either way, I'm comparing the youngest person, EST, to the whole class. But if I'm just choosing 2 people to compare, I would use an ER on the adjective. In other words, Mr. Oliver is taller than Ms. Oliver, comparing 2 people. Okay? But if I were talking about Mr. Oliver and comparing him to the whole class, what would I use? EST, tallest. Mr. Oliver is the tallest of the whole class. So this is not too difficult, should be something you're used to. You just have to look at the sentences very, very carefully. You want to get used to the names of these adjectives. What we call them, strong, is it's a positive comparison. We call it the positive adjective. But when you're comparing 2 things and you put an ER, we call that the comparative. So you have positive, compare one to another, and then you have superlative. It's super, it's the greatest of all, and that's where you use the EST. These should be a lot easier than predicate adjectives and predicate nominatives. If you go ahead and turn to page 208, you'll be able to pick out some of these adjectives. Of the 9 team members, Dylan is the faster or the fastest runner. Well, it tells us there's 9 team members, so we know we're not comparing 2. We know we don't just have 1, but we have a lot. Okay? 9. So we should have chosen there, Dylan is the fastest runner. Choose the superlative adjective in that place. Go ahead when we finish this video and finish Think A. It should be quite easy. Think B is a little bit more difficult because you'll have to change some of the spellings there. For example, it gives you a rule about Y, shaggy. If you're making something, if something is being compared to two things, it would be shaggier. We have to drop that Y and make it S-H-A-G-G-I-E-R. So I trust that you'll be able to finish Think B 1, 2, and 3. If you have trouble, just use your dictionary or go on dictionary.com for the spelling. I believe that those two activities will get you ready for returning to Mints after the snow. Have fun with your adjectives.